Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tactical Tips, brought to you by the Independent Dealer Podcast and our friends at Neo. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
Are you in the Matrix right now?
We could be.
We could be in the Matrix.
Are you sleeping? Did you take the red pill or the blue pill?
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I may. I'm not. Never mind. We're not gonna make blue pill jokes today. Just saying.
Good call. Good call.
All right. So we've talked about Neo for a while here. Now we have the guy here that can explain it better than me. Why should dealers be using an underwriting software, Scott? And why is Neo the one to use?
Yeah, great question. I mean, so from a perspective of why should someone be using an underwriting software, really think about it this way. Within a dealership's database, they've got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of data points that can be leveraged to understand how one customer is going to perform related to another, right? How much is something like a down payment, or how much is something more obscure, or a PTI, or what year, make, or model of vehicle, which is the right pairing for a particular customer. So we want to make sure that that we're leveraging that data, and Neo is certainly one of the best out there in the market at doing specifically that. And what we aim to do is kind of turn the way that underwriting and sales are done on their head. I mean, right now, so much in the industry takes those two and segregates them. So there's not a lot of good collaborative effort between those two departments. Sales is always saying, "Oh, those tightwad underwriters, they'll never let anything through," and
Sure.
The underwriters saying, "Oh, salespeople are a bunch of liars, and they don't want to, they just want to be lazy and make money."
Sure.
Right. So in our model, we're saying, hey, let's give visibility to the sales team in terms of, hey, what's underwriting care about, and what can we do to help streamline that process. I think that's a huge benefit to the dealership, because again, everything is a more collaborative process from the beginning. Sales already has an understanding of where is this customer leaning in terms of how they grade and how their loan is going to perform right from the outset. So they're teeing up deals to underwriting that they're going to be much more likely to get done.
Well, we really appreciate it. Really appreciate the education you just gave. And y'all, use Neo if you're not using anything. And if you're not using anything, use something to start with.
Yeah.
Build to Neo. Look forward to seeing you soon, and I hope you enjoy these tips that are coming to you about cash flow. Hey y'all, we got Tim Lawrence with Lease Here, Pay Here Capital. Now, Tim, you've been on our show before, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, so glad to have him back today. And this week we're talking about the thing that we all worry about more than anything, and that's cash flow. You know anything about cash flow? Can you give us one good tip that's going to really change the way we look at it?
All right, here's the thing about cash flow. It can be really confusing on your day-to-day because you have so much cash coming in and out of your accounts that it's hard to track. And I actually am not a huge fan of the statements of cash flow because they're backward looking and they're kind of confusing and you don't really know what you're looking at. So best recommendation is to do a really simple weekly cash report. And I mean simple. You have your inflows coming in and your outflows coming out, and you can categorize them in 2 lines or in 4 lines each. It doesn't have to be super crazy, but if you do it on a week by week basis, just looking back at your past week, here's the cool part, is that you put it in an Excel sheet and then you just continue on and you keep adding these weeks. And as you look back, you see these patterns on your cash flow trends. And not only that, if you look back 13 weeks, then that's a perfect quarter. And if you look back 26 weeks, that's a perfect half year. And so then it helps you predict, here's how much cash I need. And you actually have to think about the capital that you're bringing in. That's an inflow of cash. And then you expect the outflows in the future. It's a simple thing to do. And it takes one person on your team to do a simple report once a week.
That is so awesome, because we have been talking about projections and goals and all these things, and this is just projecting your cash flow.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, we have a very special guest, the brains behind Reels Auto Sales.
I don't know about that.
Nicole, you are the brains.
I don't know about that.
So how do you handle all that money that Dan makes?
That Dan makes?
Oh, it's not Dan. Is it your money or is it his money?
No, it's all of our money. Let's be honest.
That's right. So you're a retail dealer. Y'all are a retail dealer in Ohio, 2 lots, a lot going on. Mm-hmm. You have curtailments to make at times. You've got contracts in transit. Mm-hmm. What do you do? What is a tip out there, the best way to handle cash flow?
I think probably the most important thing is to know your cash flow.
So how do we do that?
I would, it's very elementary in our day-to-day operations. I do the operations. I'm not out working with customers. I'm not buying vehicles. Dan's going forward. Our sales managers, all of our staff are moving forward. So I just make sure that I'm keeping all of our money lined up at all times. I need to know what's coming out in the next week or 2 weeks. I'm not paying attention to what is coming in. I need to know what's going out.
That's a good way to look forward instead of backwards, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm always making sure that, yes, we have curtailments due. Yes, we're buying new inventory. When we have that big month, when you have those, those huge sales weeks, take those eggs and hide it. Just make sure that I'm keeping our savings ready, because you're going to have that rainy day. You're going to have those seasons. Listen, right now we're in January. You're fighting with, the holidays. Everybody's on their new year, new me, saving money. People aren't buying cars right now unless they have to buy cars.
So you've got to have that rainy day fund.
You have to have that rainy day fund.
And you got to measure what's going to be going out.
Correct.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.